Hello, welcome to this video guide that will show you how to use ITHelpMe Active Directory Bulk Account Creator. Let's first start by logging into the domain with an account that has permissions to create the account on Active Directory. In this case, I'll log in as administrator, but any account that has rights to create account will do. We first start by opening up Active Directory Users and Computers Tools. Once we have opened up the Active Directory tools, we look at the OU or organizational unit, in this case old school, and you notice that there's no accounts. So our focus for today will be to create the accounts or bulk accounts with the tools. So as you can see, there's nothing here, so I'll minimize Active Directory and tools. I open up the application. Here I have the application open, and basically it's a very easy process. Let's say we want to create 20 users, and at this point we'll leave this blank. We're gonna start from user 1. So let's, for instance, the base name of the student or the account, let's call it student. Now we need to find out what the distinguished name of the OU is. It's very easy to do that. We open up Active Directory Explorer, which is a free tool from Microsoft, and you can download that on a website or just Google for that tool. Once I have Active Directory Explorer open up, I browse to the OU and old school. Here I double click on the distinguished name, and I basically highlight all of the objects. I believe I missed one here, and do a Control C to copy, and I go back to the script and I put that in. And as you notice, the OU San Francisco and old school have spaces in them, so I need to go inside and enclose those values inside quotes. You don't need to do that for these other values here, as they do not have any spaces between them. So we're set. We click on next, and it asks us to verify the information. So basically, in summary, we're going to create 20 user accounts, and the pattern of the base student or account will start with student, and it'll be a student, in this case student 1, 2, 3, and so forth, because we did not specify the number to start from. So we click on OK, and it's creating the accounts now. There's right now 15 accounts left that remains to be created. It may seem slow, but my domain controller is on a laptop, which is only a Pentium 3, and I'm running this test on a virtual machine over a wireless network. And it's done. So it tells you it took about 26 seconds to create 20 accounts. So we minimize now. We go back to the Active Directory Users and Computers. We click on F5 to refresh. As you notice, the student's account, there's 20 of them. So these counts are enabled by default, and the password to them is written in a text file, which is in the same location as the software. We double click on this, and it lists each student account with their associated random password, and you can print this out and do what you want with this. Now let's go ahead and run it again. This time I'll make 15 accounts, and I'll start with the number, let's say 100, and the username, let's say just generic accounts. We can't leave spaces because this will be actually used to log in into the domain. And for the OU, let's pick another OU this time. We can go, let's say, back to the main student here and create accounts underneath this. So again, I go into the Active Directory Explorer, go back to the student OU, and copy the entire value in objects. And none of these OU values have any spaces between them, so I ignore that. And once I'm ready, I click on Next, can verify the value, and here's the pattern that it will create. And as noted earlier, we're starting from the number 100 instead of generic account 1, 2, 3. We're going from 100 and so forth until we create 15 accounts. So we click OK. At one point while developing the software and as a test, I decided to create 1,000 account, and it took me roughly about 15 minutes. Your results will vary depending on how fast your computer is and whether you run this over the network or not. And it's done. So we click on refresh in Active Directory users and computers. Here are the accounts, and the login ID and password is again appended into the text file called account list. And again, you can print this out and assign it to the students or do what you will. I would like to go over some common questions that may be asked about the accounts we just created. As you can see, these are the accounts we just created, and some questions that may be asked is what happens, why are these accounts enabled by default? What if I want them to be disabled before the students use it? Well, that's a good question, and actually they can't really use it yet because you would have to give them the password. They would not know this since it's a random password. But nonetheless, if you want it disabled for security reasons, I use the Active Directory users and computers and try to avoid scripts if it can be done efficiently through the GUI interface. If I multiple select the students, I can right click all of them and click on disable account, and that's easy enough to do rather than relying on a script. And you can be, what's great about this is you can be actually selective instead of being a script. So again, let me just select them all again and enable an account. And it's the same thing with other attributes of the accounts. If you right click and properties, you can set all of them at the same time to be for instance, they must change their password at the first login, and other options here. As you can see, these affects all the options that are, or all the accounts that are highlighted. And also if you want to assign the home folder to them and create home or home shares on the server, you would do so here and type in something like this, and of course substitute the server name with your actual server name and your share, and do a %username %, and this way each user account will have, once they log in, they will the script will actually create a folder that matches their student login name under the server name and share. And that pretty much kind of sums up this video guide. Thank you for watching, and always remember, check out our website to see additional new products, and the website is www.ithelpme.com. Thank you. Bye.